Hello everyone, welcome back to Logic Bombs, a realm of pure logic. I'm going to keep going on this row. I wonder, it might be interesting to step ahead a few rows at some point, because it seems like they're introducing a new idea in each row. Not necessarily a new mechanic, but at least a new kind of thing to think about. So it might be cool to get a hint of those early, but I don't feel the need really. Hello, there's a million things here? Okay, I have a lot to do. Okay. So every single gem is associated with a monster, so none of them can ever touch. So for example, I can say there's no walls here, because I need to stop these guys from connecting up or down. Likewise here, can't be anything there. These guys can't go up or down. Something similar must apply here. I've already done it though. Yeah, it's just another way to conclude these same three cells. The one wall here must be here or sooner. It can't be either of these two. But it also can't be here or further because of this. So it has to be specifically that one. And then we need these two as well. We're going to have a similar issue here. It has to be at least as high as this and at least as low as this to stop these two groups from getting here. So it has to be exactly there. This one, it can't be either of these squares, but I think it could be any of these three to stop this connection. It can't be this one, in fact, because we need a divider here. Has to be specifically this space to stop this group from touching either of its neighbors. This row column is done. This row looks finished. Yeah, it is. This is, yeah, that's real. That's real. This has to get out, but can't get this far. That's the column done. Can't let those touch. Ah! I messed up. The puzzle's broken. I need these to be non-walls, but once they are, this gets connected up. Shoot, what did I do wrong? Wait, oh, I skipped one? I skipped to this one accidentally. Okay, I guess I'll do them out of order. This is the one I meant to do. I'll finish this one and then go back to the one I accidentally skipped. Okay, there has to be a wall in here. It can't be there. There's only one non-wall in this area. Leave that for later. There has to be one wall only to stop this from connecting to either of these. It has to be this one. If it were above, we get a connection here. If it were below, yeah, okay. Likewise, this is the only space I can stop this from getting to either of its neighbors. I need either this or this to stop these two from touching, right? If I had neither, I'd have this, which is illegal. So we can say this much. One of these two is a wall, and one of these two, so these aren't. One of these is a wall, one of these is a wall, this isn't. Same thing I started with last time. This 7 is not interesting. Okay, I have now some distinct groups that clearly can't be allowed to touch. Got to do that. And that. And that. These can't touch either. At least one of these is a wall, and at least one of these is a wall, so this is not. Not impactful yet, but I mean, I can say one of these two is a wall, I guess. Doesn't seem important. So I already knew one of these 3 was. Ruling out it being this one doesn't seem to matter. Oh, this column is done. It's got to go there. This column's done too. Now we can box those off. These are now too close together. Did I accidentally do something like this last time? That can't be the mistake I made. Oh, don't I have... Isn't this the wall? Wasn't that easy to prove a million years ago? Yeah. Because this can't touch either of these. So we can't do that. You gotta get out. Can't do that. You don't necessarily have to get out. You would be happy here or here. Wait. You don't have to get out. You'd be perfectly happy where you are. Okay, I made some blunder in this area. I don't remember exactly, so I'll just delete a bunch of stuff and start it fresh. You can't connect. That's true. I think that might be what I did wrong before, was marking this and saying it had to get out. They don't have to get out. They're happy. That's true. And that. This all has to be walls for the row. Or maybe it was something like this I did that was wrong. Okay, now this has to... Okay, yeah, that's got to go there. This has to connect up because I only have one wall left and it's got to go up here. This does escape. And I can't get to there. This can't be the wall because we need to cut these two off. And we can't go there. That's true. These would touch if I did. Oh, the 7 column is done. So is this 5 row. So we got to stop these from touching finally. Now this 4 row is done. Can't do that. Or that. This 3 column is done. Can't do that. 4 columns done. Can't do that. Said the 4 column is done. Let's finish it. Oh, this 1 row is done as well. Okay. This 3 row is done. So we gotta wall those off. There we go. So it's interesting how, like, there are several mechanics in this game, right? Rules that you have. And, you know, the bombs, the mines, and the gems are kind of the 3 things I'm thinking about that are different from the... Like, there's lots of puzzle genres that have these edge border clues, right? That say, oh, there's so many things filled in this row or this column. And I don't know. The, like, you don't have to make use of every mechanic in every puzzle. This puzzle was designed in such a way that it was, well, like, the gems didn't matter, right? Well, they kind of did. Okay, the thing that didn't matter was I never was in a position where I felt like I was going to have to blow up a gem. I guess it does matter. I don't know. Because the gems told me how many regions there are. And I did have to reason about making sure I didn't blow one up. The monsters never really did matter, except that the rules of the game say there has to be at least 1 monster with every gem. So when designing this puzzle, they, I suppose, designed the gems and said, okay, here's all the groups, and okay, well, we better put a monster with each gem. And then, like, figuring out which monsters are in which groups or whatever, that was never an issue. That wasn't something to think about in this puzzle, whereas it is in many others of these puzzles. Or, like, which bomb is hitting which monster. That's something we often have to think about. But in that puzzle, it was given to us. So they can, I don't know, construct puzzles where only some of this game's mechanics are necessary. And this kind of degenerates into a different puzzle genre. Okay, so you... not sure I can say where any of these go just yet. I have to, though, right? Ah, these 3 are interesting. They have to be grabbed entirely by a single one of these 3s. You can't give out just 2 of them, which means that one of these 2 groups must be grabbed by the other 3. We don't know which, but either way, the 3 that it's touching, that could otherwise have claimed these monsters, will have to claim all 3 of these. And so we can basically do this and say all the monsters must be grabbed in groups of 3, even though it didn't look that way at the beginning. Okay. But then what? Ah, that has finished these 6s. Which has finished these 3 columns. This 4 has to either put its last wall here or here. Right? Yeah. Because one of these 3s is grabbing this and the other one isn't. If they both tried to go to the side, these would be stranded. So the 4 can't put a wall in either of those spots. Oh, this 3 is done. Okay, pretty simple puzzle. Getting the idea that the monsters actually had to be grabbed in a group of 3 was the key insight, which came to me relatively quickly. There's not any monster that clearly has to go with a specific bomb, I don't think. But I bet we're going to reason like this. This one has to get one of these two. Don't know which, but it's exactly one. So this 2... Well... The problem is that doesn't mean this 2 has to serve exactly one of them. It could serve none if it were, you know, something like this. I thought I was going to say, oh, so the 2 has to get exactly one of these 2, which means this 1 has to get exactly one of these 2, so this has to get exactly one of these 2. But that's not true. Well, it might be true, but not for the reasons I was arguing anyway. Okay, back to basics. There's at least one in this... There's exactly one in this column, which has to be between these two mines. It can't be in the bombs. It can't be here. The same thing is true in this row. And in this row, there's one that has to be coming between these, so it goes here. It can't go here, rather. Well, oh, so no matter where I put this... Okay, this is illegal. Yeah, because this one would be touching these two. But no matter where I put this, these two are being hit by these... Like, suppose this mine said 2 instead of 1. No matter where I put this wall, these two monsters are being gotten by some combination of these two bombs. So I can actually say, these two are gotten already. You are not allowed to go up, right? I can do something similar here, I bet. No, I can't. Because for all I know, it could do this. But no matter where I put the wall in this row... It's easier to start here. No matter where I put the wall in this row, this bomb is getting one of these two guys. So it can't be getting this one, which means this 2 is getting it. And the wall can't be over here because it has to stop the one from getting too greedy. Okay, and as I was saying, this is not a legal place for a wall because this one would be oversaturated. The wall in this area can't go here because then the 2 would be oversaturated. And in fact... It must be getting these guys, all 3 of them. Or it must be getting all of it. All 2 of its mines must be on this row, because I can only stop it from getting 1 if I can't put a wall here, which I forget why I can't, because this has... Yeah, okay, so this 2 can't be getting either of these monsters, which is very powerful to know all of a sudden. Because now I can just dole out all the monsters, no problem, I think. There. Nope. Go straight to hell? This row is broken. Alright, let's start this over. What did I get wrong? The one wall can't go there in this row. We know that. And this column can't go there. In this row, can't go there. That all seems pretty true. This would not be a fine place to put the wall, because this would be a problem. This one has to get one of these two, because I can't put both walls down. So... It has to get only one of them, though, because I can't allow it to get both. So the wall can't be over here. Right. Only one wall in this whole area. If it could be here, then the two could reach one of these two monsters. In the last go, I proved that this couldn't be a thing, but I could have been wrong, so I can't assume that yet. Let's see. This... Okay, yeah, that's how I got there. This is touching one of these two, so it can't get this one. This one needs to be gotten by you. Now, I can say no matter where I put the wall, we're getting one of these two remaining monsters, which means we can't be getting either of these. And we can't get both of them by putting a wall here, so this is clear. Okay. So this has to go here now. Yes. So it can't go there. So this has to come down. Can't go any further. This has to go up. This is done. You can't go any further, so you've got to pick this one up. Which means you can't get this one. So you have to. But I'm wrong again! I ruined this column the same way. What? What did I do there again? Oops. Okay, let's try to use fewer shortcuts. Mental shortcuts. Make sure every deduction is sound. Could I put the one wall in this row here? No. These two mines would blow each other up. Could I put it here? No. This would get too many monsters. Could I put a wall here? No. These bombs would blow each other up and fight over a monster. No matter where I put the wall in this row, either this guy's getting to it, or this guy's getting to it with like a wall over in this general area. Either way, you cannot be allowed to have it. You are already being blown up, so you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do this either, because, let's do this more slowly though. No matter where I put this wall, let's say here, you're getting a monster. Here, you're getting this monster. Here, you're very unhappy, so I have to do that. And also this. To keep you from being oversaturated. You, only one bomb left that could reach you, it's this one. Okay. So this I think is where I reasoned that I have to do this. Let's confirm that that's true. You get only one wall. If it's here, you're getting this guy. If it's here, you're getting this guy. And if it's here, you're going to have a heart attack. So you can't reach this. So that's blocked. So this column is done. This column has been done for a little while. So what did I do before that I thought I could progress from this point? Okay, I guess I know this can't be the wall in this column. But that's not very impactful. This row has two monsters, which are definitely both being served by the two bombs in this row, leaving them a budget of, I have one excess bomb that I have to distribute down to either here or here. These guys, only one of these is being blown up by this row. So I have to spend some budget here, right? I have to have a bomb from a different row deal with one of these two. And it can't be this one. In fact, okay, yeah. It was easier to see this monster can only be reached by this bomb. So we can do this. And now this monster can only be reached by this bomb. So we can do that and wall these off. And this column was done, so I filled it in. Now I got to do this. I filled this column in because as soon as I saw there was a wall here, I filled this column in because that's the column I kept somehow accidentally overfilling. Hopefully this will prevent me from running into the scenario where I kept making wrong conclusions before. There we go. Yeah, don't know what I got wrong several times, but we're back. We're so back. Can't connect this up, obviously. This monster's got to come from over here. These gems can't connect. This mine has to come down here. This row needs a wall here. I don't know if these connect or not. I don't know which gem this is associated with yet. I do know because this row has 4 non-empties, so 4 empties, so it needs 6 walls. And now this can't be allowed to touch here. Okay. This has to go here. This has to escape either left or right, so the rest of the row is filled in order to have 8 walls. Now I know there's a wall in one of these two from this bomb can't see too much. And that's the second wall for the column. So these are clear. Now I can do this, and this has to come up there, and this. I don't know who this is connecting to, really. I don't think. I know it has to... Oh, it can't connect up here, can it? The only way it could do that would be to go like this, but then it would be blowing this up. I think in theory we could have something like this, where it's actually part of this gem group. It's a little hard to believe, but I think it's not impossible. So I can't say for sure that it's connected to this. One, two, three. So I still need 2 more walls here. I don't think it's too important. This I need all but 1 to be a wall. Seems fine. Three, 5, yeah. All at 1 wall here. That's interesting, maybe. But it's sort of interesting, but I don't know what to do with it. Well, oh, this gem, I see. It has to get out, but it can't be allowed to touch this group. So it can't go this way, or it would. It has to go this way. And then it has to get out. And I bet that finishes the row. Yes. So it has to get out again. It probably connects to this monster, but I don't think that's 100% guaranteed. It could do something like this. Well, that would be too many non-walls here, but like this maybe? This? Like, it seems like something like that might be possible. This row is all done. So it has to get out again. This row is all done. You have to get out. Oh, you've had to get out all this time, haven't you? Oh, no! No, you don't have to get out. You have a gem. You're happy. You have to get out, and you can't let these two touch. Okay. Thought I'd ruined it for a second there. Yeah, that's this column done. Okay. You still have to get out. You gotta find your monster. Oh. This is definitely touching this gem, isn't it? Whichever way it goes. So it can't touch this gem. So it goes this way. That's the column done. You still gotta get out. Can't go that way. I told you it looked like it could come up here, and that's what it's gonna do, I think. I guess it could even go all the way over here, maybe? This column is not done yet. I thought for a moment it was. This column needs a wall here. And we need open here. Yeah, so this connects up to that. So this can't go here now. It's going to have to reach one of these two groups, which might be the same group or might not. Yeah, that's still got to go there. This row is done. We go this way. So now you're connected here. This row needs walls there. Got it. You've got to reach there, and that's as far as you can reach. This is a pretty puzzle. I like this. The kind of... Can I have my mouse cursor back? This kind of arc here and here. These kind of rings. I like it. Wait, that's not... Why would I assume that? I saw a 0 here, and I was like, okay. But, like, no, that's not what this 0 means. 37, 32. So there's 5 between these two, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That seems unlikely. Is it impossible? Yes. If I did this, I think I'd have a problem. Because you'd have to go down, you'd have to go down, you'd have to go down. This 2 would need this and this. Oh, no, this is fine, actually. Okay, I thought I couldn't put all 5 walls here, but I guess I can? Okay. So, 5 between these 2 rows, which could all go here, even though that looked impossible to me at first. But they don't have to. They could go somewhere else. I wonder how useful it is to think about, like, mine or bomb/monster budget is a thing I've talked about once or twice, right? Like, this row has 5 bombs and 2 monsters. So it needs at least 3 of its bombs to spill out into other rows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 of them could possibly spill. Oh, 5. 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them could possibly spill out. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to resolve that, but like noting that 3 of them at least have to spill out is kind of interesting and has helped in some puzzles. 2 walls, huh? In this column. You can't do this. So at least one of them has to be down here, but that doesn't say much. It could be here or not. Yeah, what do you do here? Ah, okay. I think we need to start with like this row, maybe. Things like this. This one has to get one of these 2 monsters. It can't get this one. Okay. Well, this one has to get one of these 2 monsters. No, that's not true at all. There's 4 walls here. Okay, never mind. We could do this. That would be illegal because we'd be getting 2 monsters, but... No, this one doesn't have a similar thing because the wall could be here or here. Is this supposed to be some big help somehow? Well, it maybe makes this budget idea a little bit more potent, because... No, it's less potent. Because if this had blown this up, even more of these would have to spill out. Now we know this monster for sure is handled by one of these 5 bombs. How about here? This column has 3 bombs and only 2 monsters. So one of them has to spill out, at least. And there's only one way for... There's 2 ways for that to happen. This one or this one. So... At least one of these 2 is claimed by this column. Which means we can say, like... These 2 mines or bombs or whatever have a budget of 3. They can spend at most 1 here. So they have to spend 2 more elsewhere. But that's very easy. There's 4 of these. Yeah, that doesn't seem to help. I know there's at least one wall between these two spaces, obviously. Because these two mines can't be allowed to blow each other up. But so what? Well, okay, so let's go back to the idea of there being 5 here. That would be a nicely aesthetic way to use these question mark clues. Right? I showed earlier that it seemed you could do that, but maybe now that I have this wall here, I can't anymore. I can't. Aha! I knew that this wall would be useful somehow. Because this guy now has to be in this row. I can't put all 5 walls here. So now I know at least one of the 5 walls goes up in this row. Which means this one can't get to this monster. It has to go this way. Okay, we might be in business now. Who knew this little innocuous wall would say so much once I thought a little bit harder about it. This 2 has to be these 2. I don't know which way this goes, I think. Oh, I do, because this 2... No, I still don't. Well, maybe I do. This 2 can't go here. No, it has to go here. Can't go there. This one has to go this way, which means you gotta go that way. There we go. Now we know there's a wall, at least one wall, in fact, at least 2, I think, in this area. So this has to get out to the rest of the world, and it can't do it by crossing this gap. It's got to come this way. This row is done. This column is done. This can't be the only wall in the column, because this would be stranded. Either of these could, I think. And I don't know whether this connects up this way, so I don't know whether it has to escape west. I know there are 2 or 3 mine walls in this row, which means there are 2 or 3 up here. So I think this is impossible, right? Yeah, that's just generally true. Okay. This space, even though it's not attached to anything, it's not part of a monster or a gem or whatever, it has to get out and become part of this gem, and it can only do so this way. This column, by the way, has been done for a while. This one is also done now. And so is this one. You gotta get out, but not that way. This row is done. This column's done. Can't let this explosion happen. Now I know the count up here. Right, there's 2 of these, so there must be 3 of these. This has to get out. column's done. This row is done. This column's done. This row is done. This column's done. This row is done. This row is done. Oh, what are you putting these in the border for, you weirdo? Okay. Wait, something's weird about this layout. What's normally over here? Normally this is centered. Now it's over here. Okay. If you say so. What can we do so far? There are 4 gems and 4 groups of monsters, so they must remain distinct. But I don't know which gem to assign to which monster group yet. I can't assign this one here, because you would be trapped, but I could assign it here or here. Those would both be possible. There's 3 walls in this row, and one of them has to be in here. At least one. But I guess that isn't an answer, is it? It could be both, leaving this empty, or it could be just one, leaving this a wall. There's only one more non-wall in this whole area, which seems exciting. But it doesn't stop something from traveling across, I think. Like, we could have something like this and still connect these up. Can this still get up here? Yeah, I mean, I could go like that. I think that would be okay. There's only one non-wall in this whole area. And again, it seems like something could connect over that one tiny non-wall square. Ah, wait a minute. But this that I drew earlier was impossible. So maybe we want to find out if this can connect here or if it has to connect here. Could it do this? No. There's only space for 2 non-walls in this column. But this looks... No, this isn't possible either. This 7 needs mostly walls. So in fact, I can only fit 2 non-walls in this column and 2 non-walls in this column. 1 non-wall in this column, which isn't enough to bridge up to here. So I think this gem has to connect to these guys, in fact. Which means you do have to connect here. And you do have to connect here. And you have to connect here. Okay, I think that's something these columns are giving me. How they connect is still a mystery, but I think I've got them assigned at least. Sure, like this would be easy, but I mean, it might not be true. It might go like this or something. Well, no, wait a minute. That's not possible. Maybe this is forced. Because how else are we getting in? If this were blocked off, you could try this, but that's too many in this row. You could try this, but that's too many in this row. And if you go any higher, you end up touching this group, so that wouldn't work. And likewise, this wouldn't work. So actually, this is true. This has to be there. Cool. Baby steps. I mean, that influences this a little bit, I guess. This has to get up. Let's maybe look at how that could happen. Seems like there's a number of ways. Well, are there? You could just barely do this and still fit 3 walls here. But, like, you could do something like that, and that... Well, okay, that's no good because this needs 6, but like this. You could fit this, just barely. So it has to connect up via one of these 3 channels. I don't... Could it do something like that? I guess it could. No, that would break this 5. So yeah, one of these 3 columns has to connect up. And it can't be this one. Can it? I guess if I did this, maybe? It seems possible. Okay. How about you? How are you getting down? This would be straightforward, but somewhat constraining, I guess. So we'd have to do this. But there's no reason I couldn't, as far as I can tell. It could just barely connect like that without breaking this row or this column. Just barely. Here would be impossible. So it's one of these 2. And notably, it can't be the same column that these can't both use this column to connect. That's interesting, I think. Oh, this has been here all along. I somehow missed that when I was doing these. Or maybe I undid it. Yeah, I undid it just now when I drew this in. I undrew this one. There's only one more non-wall in this column. So I don't think we could connect here to here via this square. We'd either have to go too far to this side. Well, I guess we could do this. Boy. Tough to find a break-in on this one, I think. I've done a lot of thinking, I've learned some things, but I haven't marked very many squares. And you want to focus, I think, in general, on, like, the most constrained squares. But I can't really tell where those are. Like, yeah, this row is mostly walls, but that's not that constraining, right? I could just fill it all with walls, and it would be not a big deal. This is illegal, because one of them has to be a non-wall, but I don't really need any of these spaces to do much of anything, except maybe to get over here, like that? This is mostly walls. But so what? This is mostly walls. That could be important. Well, okay, I guess we know that's a wall. Because if this went over here, it would then have to go down, and that would be too many. So I guess that's something. Not much, but it's something. This 3 looks important, but I just know there's at least one wall here, and therefore at most one wall here. That doesn't help. Well, at most one wall in this single square. Great. Well, yeah, I mean, like, this 3, I know there's at least one wall in this area, therefore at most 2 in this area? But so what? Well, I guess at most 2 walls in these 3 squares does mean they can't all be walls. And this area needs a lot of walls. When I'm, like, making connections this way. Right? So let's just say I did this, right? I don't know. I mean, you'd have to do this, but I don't think that really is that much of a big deal. I think these cells up here have to mostly be walls, don't they? Because if I connect this gem to here on this column, we have to fill this all in, and then, like, this obviously can't be free. It would have to be a wall. There's no way it could escape with so few non-walls in the column. So like that would have to be a wall. Like I think we could afford this much maybe. So these two would have to be walls in that case. But if I come in like over here, these two are also still walls, right? Because this whole column has become walls in that scenario. If I come in this way, nah, then I don't know. I think I might have to come back to this one. I'm struggling. Let's go do something new. Hey, here's a strong start. Look how many cells I can place immediately on this one. So getting this monster to this gem is likely to be interesting. One possibility is this, of course. It's the only possibility, isn't it? Because I don't have enough non-wall spaces in these two rows to get out like this or this. So in fact, yeah, it has to come this way. And now I have to get this in, don't I? Interesting. And this 9 is quite constraining. So is this 8. Well, the 9 is more constraining because it's making it harder to transit through these bombs. Right, only one of these can let into here at most, perhaps not. Well, and this square, right? Of the 3 ways to get this X in to touch the gem, this bomb, and this bomb, well, this cell, I guess. 3 of them are blocked off by the 9. Two, excuse me, must be blocked off by the 9. They can't all be blocked off or there'd be no way in. So the 9 has to fill in these squares at least. Oh, this column is done, by the way. Which does this row. This row is done. These have to connect up. This can't be the last wall in the column or this would be stranded. So that goes there, which means this has to get out. That's the wall. This has to get in. Column's done. This has to get out. One of these is a wall, which means it isn't the path for this to get in. So it's got to be here or here. Could it be here? Yeah, there'd be just enough space for 5 walls in the row. Okay. This row needs another wall. This column is done, actually. this column must be done. Does this have to connect up here or not? I think it does. Because if it didn't, how would this all connect up? It couldn't go this way or it would break this 6 row. So it would have to go this way and then back down. Well, yeah, and then it would have to, it can't get out through here. Oh, it has to get out. Oh, hang on, it would, because this is now a wall. Okay, not sure. I don't remember which of those were already marked. This one should be. Yeah, these were. Okay. So I'm not sure. I think I could maybe survive putting a wall here. In fact, that kind of looks like the solution, doesn't it? Walls here and here. Now the path is up and around and through and... No, I can't get to this. Can't get in through here. Right. Okay, some of that I already I could actually mark. Let's see. This we had before. Yeah, this doesn't work because then there's no right. This section can't get out through here. We already know that. So it has to get out through here. And that probably does the column. Yeah, this column's done. Now this has to come down. And so we go around here. That was cute. All right, I think that's it for today. Skipped one. What a bummer. First one I've had to leave for later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.